I'm in and out of Facebook jail, so I don't know whether they'll even like me here. But I'm having a go. I'm having a go. Check out these cheeks. Check out these cheeks. These cheeks are Everglow and these cheeks are Skincerity. That's what belongs to these cheeks. I don't know, I've never had such rosy cheeks before, but look at them all. Rosy cheeks. Rosy cheeks. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Have you had one of those days? I've had one of those days. Bloody hell. I've had one of those days where I've been up and down, up and down, up and down. And I've got to go, right. My son said to me, Mum, you're never going to change the world if you stay in bed. Get up. And he's right. I'm never going to change the world if I stay in bed. I've got to get up and get going. And it's nighttime here, so I shouldn't be in bed. But, every now and again I just lay down on my bed and I go, oh, it's been a busy day. It's been a busy day, and it taxes my brain. So I lay down on my bed and I go, oh, okay, let's just think about this for a minute. Let's just rest for a minute. And I had a conversation with my son at that point. Have you ever thought about how you're going to build something that you just got no idea how to do it? One of the biggest things that happened to me was when I was building a business and I thought that I was on track, right? I thought I was doing such a good job. And I'd had a check for $1,000 and I thought I was just king dick, Anyway, I got a check for $228 then. And then I was like mad. I was so mad. I was mad at myself. I was mad at my upline. I was mad at everyone. I was mad at Sam. I was mad at everyone. And the reason that I was mad is because it took away from what I was should have been doing, and that was looking inward. Like I should have been looking at myself and said to myself, well, what have you done, Terry? What have you done to build a business? Well, I'd done nothing really. I just sent a few people over to my upline and said, you sign these up, and I thought that was enough. No. It depends on how big a business you want to build. If you want to build a big business or you want to build a small business. But what happened was that I came home from that moment, and then I went and did a course. I did a SRC sort of thing, a leadership thing, and I met Justin Herald. But he was enough to inspire me to come home and change my thinking. And when I changed my thinking, my stinking thinking, that's when my business changed. And, every now and again, we all need to change our stinking thinking because we've all got it. We've all got stinking thinking going on. So sometimes you need to change this stinking thinking. One of the things to do to change your stinking thinking is to put things down on paper, right? So write a list of 1 to 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and write it down. Every one of you, write a piece of paper and write it down. Write it down to 1 to 40. And then as you acquire 40 brand partners, I want you to put the names in the boxes because that's your new team. That's going to be your babies. And if you're anything like me, when I very first started, what I did was I would get my 40, and if I had 6 at the time, I'd go, hi, good morning, how are you? Hi, good morning, how are you? And I would do this 6 times. Then I got it to do it 10 times, and then I got to do it 20 times, and then I got to do it 40 times. And when I was doing it 40 times, I was like, oh, that's a bit much to do that 40 times. Hi, good morning, how are you? Hi, good morning, how are you? Hi, good morning. So, guys, drives me nuts. But it was also taking time. So that's when I started Healthy Living. And Healthy Living now has 440,000 people in it. But in the very beginning, I was doing, hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? And one of the things in that was like, I should have been, that was how I built connection, right? So for me, connection is the most important thing in this business. But you've got to start somewhere, and you've got to start somewhere with some action. And the action is your list. So if you've got a list of 1 to 40, and you know that, it might take you a year to do it. It might take you 10 months to do it, whatever it was. I had a list of 1 to 20, right? And I put all of my people on that list that I thought that would be good at joining me in my business, right? So I wrote a list. I had some people on there that was my chicken list. So some people in there that I was scared shitless of. And I thought, oh, I'm not going to go and talk to that one. That's a bit, they won't be interested in me. They won't want to know about me, or they're too rich for me, or they won't ever be interested. Now, some people weren't interested, and some people were interested. Some people weren't interested and they became a customer. Some people were interested and became a brand partner with me. And the one that I was the most scared of was the woman that I left to last, right? So I did all the easy ones, I checked them all off, and then I did the hardest one, the last. I thought, oh, I was nervous. I was so nervous about talking to her. And so I decided to put myself in her places. Like I was at a coffee shop where she would eat, and I would, and like I sort of like offered her some product and all that sort of stuff. So I was scared shitless. Finally, I said to her, would you be interested in looking at the business? And she just said, come around and talk to me. Now, when I went around to talk to her, now this is a woman that I thought was very wealthy. Had it all together. She was on all the committees. She was on everything. She did everything. She knew everything. Why would she talk to me? Little old me. Turned out, when I went to her house was upside down. She had clothes everywhere. She had shit everywhere. She was like there was just stuff everywhere. The whole house was in chaos. And I walked into this house and I was like going, how do you even find the kitchen? Where do you find the dishes? It was like, would you want a cup of tea? But she had to wash all the dishes first. And I was like looking at this and I was thinking to myself, here's this woman that I was so scared to talk to because I thought that she was perfect and I was imperfect. And her life was so imperfect. And my life looked actually, well, it wasn't perfect, but it was in a better condition than what hers was. And then it turned out that, her husband's business was going down the chute and, like they were facing bankruptcy. She needed me more than I needed her. And at the end of the day, she became one of my best brand partners and she built a massive business, pulled her family out of the debt that they were in and grew a massive business. Now, if I was you and I was thinking about, well, how am I going to build a business in today's world, I'd be looking at it and going, well, what do I need to do to get my business up and running? And who do I need to talk to? And, what is it that I need to be looking at? So I'm just trying to plug in all my phones here so I don't lose my battery. But, that's what I'd be looking at. I'd be looking at, have I got my list of 20? So you're going to write a list of 20 people that you're going to target. And then on the other piece of paper, you're going to have numbers 1 to 40. And you're going to fill this 40 in. Now, some of you need to build 2 legs and some of you need to build 1 leg. Those of you that need to build 1 leg, get your 40 and run them down the line. If those that you need to build 2 legs, get your 40 and split them evenly. And then go and get another 40. But remember, as you're going down the leg, what you're going to be doing is also saying to your people, who do you know? Who do you know? Who would you like to bring in and work with you? So that 40 that you've got to do now gets multiplied. And it's not just you doing it anymore. It's you and your team that are doing it. And then you and your team are doing it. And your team and your team are doing it. And so what happens down the leg is that it starts to multiply. Isn't that called duplication? Isn't that what you're wanting to learn? My goodness me. And all it is writing the list of 1 to 40 and getting 1. And that 1 will give you 2. That 2 will give you 4. That 4 will give you 8. That 8 will give you 16, and so it goes down the line. Isn't that how you build a network business? I don't know about you. There's lots of ways to build it, but that's a pretty good, easy way to me. And then what you want to do is just get everybody to sell 2 fat programs a week. Isn't that easy? Now, look, you can all say, oh, I can't do that. Oh, my gosh, you can do that. Every one of you can do that. Every one of you. Because those 2 fat programs, if in the old business you told me that you were gold, I'd be telling you, what are you doing? You should be platinum 1. You should be platinum 2. And you would never settle for silver. You never, and neither of you. But yet, in this business, all I'm asking you to do is settle for silver. So, and what about that one that's going to do more than 2? What about that person? Then if that person does more than 2 customers, then suddenly your business is looking like it's got, you don't need that 40, you only might need 30, and then you're going to optimize. Are you starting to hear me? If you're starting to hear me, send me a love heart. If you're starting to understand my language, send me a love heart, because I really need you all to understand that this business is not as hard as you think it is. This business is not hard. It's just you suddenly doing the work and seeing what you have to do. But you'll never do anything unless you put plans in place and unless you strive to go, okay, I need to do this, this, and this. And then start to put some goals in place for yourself. Now, some of you are out there and going, oh, this is all too hard, or I'm too sick, or I've got this and I've got that. We've all got dramas. Every one of us have got dramas. Every one of us. But it's how much do you want to get out of the drama and into something better? Because if you want to get out of the drama and you want to get into something better, you've got to set yourself some goals and set yourself some intentions. One of my words this year is going to be intention. You know, like it's, what is my intention? I need to make sure that my intention is on point. I want to make sure that my intention is on point every day. So I wake up every day and I go, right, I need to do this, 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 and this. I don't want to waste a day. This is 2026. I'm not wasting one day. And like, don't get me wrong. There are days that I just go, you know, it's tough. And there are days that I go, I'm sad. And there's days that I go, I'm bursting with energy. And there's days that I'm just going, oh, this is a big load to carry. But you know what? At the end of the day, what I want to do is be able to sit on a beach. I want to be able to have Sam with me. I want to go fishing. I want to have the wind in my face. I want to put the sand in between my toes. But I can't do that unless I build a business. And every one of us has dreams. Every one of us has a dream. But you won't get your dream unless you do your intention. So if you are hearing me very loud and clearly, start to think about what I'm saying. There are many leaders out there in the world, and there are many people out there that are going to be telling you this and that, do this and that and this and that. I've just given you an absolute blueprint. And, you know, like, I am a big leader. And I'm giving you the blueprint to build a business. Some of you will take it, some of you won't. Some of you will think it's that crazy white woman again. But if you see the big picture, if you see the growth, if you see where you're going, you see what you can do, you'll do what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, but do what I'm asking. Because all I want, at the end of the day, all I want is for you guys to be successful. That's all I want. But I can't get successful. And you can't get successful if you don't do the work. I'm doing the work. Now you do the work. Check out my rosy cheeks. I've never had rosy cheeks before. Oh my God. Rosy cheeks. This is, as I said, Skincerity and Everglow. Lots of love, everyone.